Hello, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesian,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge,
Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
My DVC Points.
Hello and welcome to DVC Newscast. This is episode 120. I was about to say 20, but it's 120. And today it's just me and Pete.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the original crew, right?
Yep. I'm supposed to say, hi, Shannon.
Yeah, but we have the original crew here, and we have a couple stories that are worth having a show about. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor for this week's episode, and that is DVC Rental Store. So if you're looking, maybe you're thinking about DVC, but you want to do it a test run, DVC Rental Store is a great way to do it. You can rent out some points. Maybe even they have an existing reservation that works with your planned vacation, and you can give DVC a test run. Or maybe you're just not going to be able to use your points this year. You can reach out to our friends at DVC Rental Store and they can help you out, rent out your points. With that, we do have a couple stories. And our first story is that Tiana's Place is opening in Disneyland September 7th. Disney has announced that Tiana's Place will be opening on September 7th in New Orleans Square in Disneyland. This was the previous home of the French Market quick service restaurant, and the new location will be a re-theme inspired by The Princess and the Frog. The Mint Julep Bar will also be reopening at the same time. And as of this recording, the menu hasn't been announced yet, but we expect it to come out ahead of the opening. Unfortunately, Vicky's not here from Disneyland to tell us her thoughts, but what do you think about it?
I've eaten here once or twice, or at the French Market once or twice, and I think the food there was pretty decent. I mean, it was somewhat New Orleans Southern themed, but not really heavy. I picture it might be a little more New Orleans inspired when it reopens, but it's a good location. It wasn't closed for very long. I think it only closed like in the spring, right? Or maybe like February or something like that. So I don't imagine it's like gutted and redone completely type thing.
It was mostly like a lot of it was outdoor, right?
Yeah. A portion of it was definitely the portion of it was outdoors. There was some inside because I think we ate inside the last time we were there, like maybe 50-50 inside outside type thing. Yeah, it's kind of close to the train station there in New Orleans Square.
The last time I was there was still when they were doing, you could only do mobile ordering. And we tried to mobile order and it was full by the morning. So we never got to eat there because we never thought about it fast enough to make the mobile order. So we never got to eat there. It's a perfect place to do a theme to The Princess and the Frog, right? It is really perfect. Yeah.
I mean, you really think about the two sides of the country or the two parks and like retheming Splash Mountain in California to Tiana is really a good fit because
it does.
You have New Orleans Square right there. You have the Haunted Mansion, which is also themed to like Gothic, Southern mansion, as opposed to the more New England-y type mansion that it is in Florida. And then right next to that is Splash Mountain. So it really is all going to work. Much more so than in Florida, I think, where you have a New Orleans theme right next to a Utah theme or whatever it is. So I'm not really complaining about it in Florida. I'm just saying it really works in California.
Yeah, it does. It does. And the thing is, I think with people that are listening to this episode and you and I, the theming really matters. But if I talk to my friends, they would not even notice that it doesn't fit because I think the average Disney guest doesn't think about that. There's a reason, but we see it. I think the average Disney guest really doesn't care.
But in the end, also Splash Mountain was themed to the south. So if you're complaining about Princess and the Frog, well, the old theme was very similar in location. It doesn't really fit with Frontierland either. Of that time, 1800s, New Orleans was the frontier. So, well, whatever. There's worse theming
totally
debacles within Disney World than having that next to Big Thunder Mountain. But
we're going to go to our next story, but you think about Star Tours being outside of Galaxy's Edge.
There's a good example. Yeah.
And that kind of leads us to our next story.
The new series Ahsoka is coming out on Disney Plus starting, I believe it's August 23rd. And at Disneyland Park, again, we're talking Disneyland, it says at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Park, keep a lookout for a new Ahsoka character experience. They didn't say meet and greet, they said character experience. So I'm thinking that's going to be just the character
roaming.
wandering around as
Yeah.
opposed to, a meet and greet. But that's more California too.
Right.
But Ahsoka character experience that will be coming from August 23rd. There's no mention as yet if a similar experience is coming to Hollywood Studios version of the Star Wars themed land. You would think by now, I mean, it's coming pretty soon next week. You would think they would announce something. Again, another disappointment where they get a character in California that we don't get in Florida. I kind of always forgive the Marvel things because of the legal ramification. They can't have Marvel characters in Florida, or a lot of them anyways, but come on.
I get it. I mean, I agree with you to a point, but also I've seen them try roaming characters in Hollywood Studios, and people aren't respectful in Disney World. I think in Disneyland, it's expected the roaming character's a thing. I mean, I remember our first trip in 2019. And I had heard about the roaming characters, but I really didn't I couldn't visualize it. And it was kind of, okay, oh, wow, they're just walking around. And in Disney World, when that happens, people don't respect it. And I think it's just because it's a different crowd, right? California's a lot of locals who've gone before. They're used to it. They know that it's just kind of that experience. Whereas in Disney World, people are thinking, this is my once in a lifetime trip. I spent $15,000 on this trip. I'm going to get a freaking picture and I don't care who I insult. That's kind of the attitude. So I've seen it, not with everybody, but you always have those few people that ruin it for everybody. So I kind of get it.
Though I think Galaxy's Edge has, of all the places in Florida that they do roaming characters, I think that's the one place they do it. Yeah,
they do it, but I've seen it where they'll have them come out, but then they put them behind a fence.
Yeah.
Because they can't just have them, I remember Chewie recently, we saw Chewie and, there were people he was just trying to get to it. It was in front of Smuggler's Run. I agree they could probably figure out a way to put her somewhere, but I kind of understand it too, because sometimes you just can't have nice things because people ruin it.
Yeah. And she's a character that hardcore Star Wars fans are like, oh, this is a big deal that this person's in live action. And the more casual fans that have only seen the movies are like, who?
Yeah.
It's how popular she really is because of that. So I don't know if, maybe Disney figures, it's not as big a deal to put it in Florida. Again, in California, they seem to worry more about mixing up the experience. I mean, they just announced that Rogers the Musical is going to close at the end of August, or I don't remember what the date was, but anyways, something like that you'd never see in Florida, where they have something, they open it for 3 months and then they close it. Right. That's a California thing because it's locals and they're trying to keep driving people to keep coming. So they change up these little things to keep people interested. Whereas in Florida, they don't worry about changing up so much.
But that's good. So if you're in California, let us know how it is.
Yep. And then our next story, actually, Chad just did a live stream all about this topic, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's kind of a big thing and it's DVC related, so we thought we should mention it. For the first time since January, Disney has invoked the right of first refusal on a couple of resale contracts. As many DVC owners know, if they have dealt in the resale market, when as a buyer you place a bid on a contract, Disney has the right to pay the seller the same amount and buy back the contract. So if you bid $120 per point on a contract, Disney can match that and then you don't get the contract. It's called right of first refusal, and we all refer to it as ROFR for short, ROFR. But throughout the last 10 years, Disney typically buys back around 10 to 20% of the contracts in any 1 month. In 2023, Disney has only bought back a few Copper Creek contracts back in January and none since. So there hasn't been a single buyback since January. It has led to some depression of prices because people are able to put in a low bid and they still, if the buyer accepts it, they can still get the contracts. I don't want to say it's wholly due to the ROFR, but that does coincide. But anyways, the 3 contracts bought back recently were fairly low price bids. There were 2 at the Grand Floridian, 1 at Animal Kingdom. But if Disney starts to buy back more contracts, some near-term increase in resale prices. So if you're thinking about a resale contract, now might be a good time to buy before this starts returning as a regular thing. Let me ask you, Shannon, what do you think about this? You think Disney's going to come back wholesale doing this? Is it just a couple of real low contracts?
I kind of think that they probably had a hiatus, and I think they're going to start buying back. I don't follow the resale market as much. So because I stopped window shopping a while back. But I think that probably there was a hiatus for a little bit for whatever reason. And now with the Grand Floridian, it's selling a lot of, it's pretty close to being sold out, I think,
yeah,
right?
It's like 70% or something like that, yeah.
And they haven't announced when the cabins are going to be available or when they're going to start to be sold. We heard it's going to be relatively soon, but we don't know when. So that could be why they're going to start buying contracts. We don't know. That's the thing, is we don't know, but
right.
I think this is kind of how it started after the shutdown, when they didn't buy for a long time. And then all of a sudden it kind of just started, and it started slow. And then it got pretty heavy. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. If you are looking, now's a good time because, get it in, and time will tell if it was just low contracts or if they're going to be starting to buy again.
Yeah. Without them rebuying, it doesn't necessarily mean the contracts are going to drop down to zero or anything like that. But it does affect the market. Disney can control the resale market to a degree by saying below price Y, we're going to buy back. And that way they can keep the value of the resale contracts wherever they want, except then they have to pay to buy back these contracts. So there's a little bit of a give and take to that, because if they can't just say we're going to buy back every contract, because especially now that they've priced a lot of the other resorts so high, not a lot of people are going to buy, let's say, Bay Lake Tower at $250 a point or whatever, when they can buy Grand Floridian at $217 or less. I think they don't want to buy back a ton, but they normally in the past have bought back enough to keep the prices up. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. If they're starting to buy back, it'll probably increase over the next couple of months, and that'll probably put a little support on the resale prices, and you might see them go up a little bit. So yeah, I would agree. If you were considering a buy, now would probably be a good time to look at it, because prices probably will go up a little bit over the next couple months if Disney continues to buy back.
Yep. And then we have one more story, and that is that the Vanellope meet and greet has closed at EPCOT. August 19th was the last day to meet Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph at the Imagination Pavilion. Disney has announced that Mickey and Minnie will be greeting here in their platinum 100th anniversary outfits, but there is also the expectation of a Figment meet and greet coming soon as well. Joy from Inside Out is still meeting in this space, so it is possible that will close in the near future as well, but no announcement has been made. Before we started, I said, my son loves the Imagination Pavilion. He loves it. He loves making his own Figment. He loves the wall of the memory, but it sometimes doesn't work, so you have to almost punch the panels. He's always just loves it, and he loves the ride. We always go in there, but he never wants to meet Vanellope.
Does he go to see Joy?
No, now he's kind of like, not that he's not into the characters, but the characters are mainly, the Mickey and the Minnie. I can't talk him into meeting. Before I could just like bribe him and meet the princesses or meet the characters. Now I can't. He likes to see Joy. He'll wave, but Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph. We got him to see Wreck-It Ralph when he was 4, and that did not go over well. Yeah, we rope dropped it, and he did not. I got a picture, but he did not. I'm excited to see Mickey and Minnie in their 100th anniversary outfits, because we got a picture in the 50th anniversary. We got a picture for his 90th birthday outfit. So I like those because those are special pictures. I wonder if that's where they're going to put him. Will they remove, I'm assuming they'll move Mickey from inside the Pixar shorts. Because now you can, the Mickey.
Well, that one was just for Visa holders, wasn't it?
No, there's the Visa holders, but inside the waiting area for the Pixar.
Oh, right. There's a Mickey and Minnie. Yeah,
just a Mickey in his classic tuxedo.
Yeah, so I'm sure they won't have both. Well, and they did also say that when they open the new area in the center of Epcot, there is going to be a Mickey and Friends meet and greet there. So they will eventually move him out of Imagination and or move them out of Imagination and move him over there. But until that opens, this is where they're going to meet.
That was a really great thing that they had before when you could meet the characters. I think it was 3 characters and they were like one after the other.
Oh, it used to be, because we have a lot of pictures from it. It used to be at least 4, if not 5.
Really?
That you could meet in that character greet that was in Core West or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was called.
Whatever it was called. Yeah, it used to be you could like meet 4 or 5 characters, and we would go there every time with our daughter because it was such a great way to just get, because it would usually be Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy, and sometimes it was Pluto too. So sometimes it was all 5.
Right.
And that was just a great way to meet those characters. And then they cut it back, and when it closed, it was only like 3, right?
Yeah, we went so many times. Because that was, I mean, there wasn't much for my son to do at Epcot for a long time.
Right.
And so that was always the fast pass we would choose. And then they moved it over to that other section. It's always nice. And it's nice when they have that. So you think about the little ones, it's a great time to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, because the last thing you want to do with a 2-year-old is wait in a bunch of different lines for characters. If you can wait in one line and get them all done at once, it's great.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited for that to come back, but then I am excited to see Mickey and Minnie in their outfit. And it's a good reason to go to the Imagination Pavilion. I like it. My son likes it. And then it's also, if you want to take a little break and go to the DVC Lounge, you can.
Yeah.
So it's right there. But that is it for our stories. Now you have a trip coming up soon. We're going to be there around the same time. So I'm going to the Halloween party on September 1st. So if anybody's going to the Halloween party, definitely look for me and my family. We will be there. We're only going one night. So, but if you're going to that Halloween night, to just definitely, if you see me, say hi. Mm-hmm. And then you're going up when?
We're arriving on the 2nd, and we're there through the 9th. So we're there for about a week. We're actually staying off property.
Oh.
Which is, I want to say it's the first time we've done a Disney trip staying off property in a long time, but it's only sort of a Disney trip. I mean, we're down there mostly to see our daughter, but we have an annual pass. We'll probably be going to the park most of the days. I have almost no plans. I mean, it's 2 weeks away. I have almost no plans. I have one dining reservation, which isn't even in the parks. I do not have park reservations yet because we don't know our daughter's schedule. She's working in Animal Kingdom. And if anybody's in Harambe, they can look for Adriana. She's working at the various quick service or food stands around Africa. Yep. So if you see someone with a name tag that says Adriana, that's my daughter.
I got a selfie with her.
You did. That was awesome. And she's having a real good time. And she loves it when people say, "Hey, I know your dad." Of course, 20-year-olds love it when. So she doesn't have her schedule yet. She did ask for a couple days off while we're down there. So we'll see. It seems like most weeks, if she doesn't ask for days off, she works like 6 days a week.
Wow.
So hopefully she'll get a couple days off while we're there, and so we can spend some time with her. And then the days that she's working, we'll probably go to various parks, and we'll be around there. We won't be over at Universal, so I don't think we're going to see you for that trip.
Yeah, because we're moving to Universal.
Our November trips coincide. We're there the same week, so hopefully we'll be able to get together once or twice while we're there. Certainly at Epcot, we spent a lot of time at Epcot on our November trip.
I'm excited, and then I'm also forgot to mention. I've mentioned I have a personal vlog, so I will have a vlog up of the Halloween party. So if you want to go and you want to see how it is to manage it on a Friday night, you can definitely watch that. It is sold out. But we're also going on the Disney Magic for one of the Halloween cruises at the end of September. Yeah, so we're very excited. We did the same cruise last year on the Disney Dream. So this year we're doing the Disney Magic. We were on the Disney Magic just before everything shut down. I think it was 2 weeks before they shut everything down. Excited. And I know they've updated a couple things. So excited to do that. So if you're interested in like following along for a Halloween cruise, you can definitely check out the vlog there. So
look for Shannon on YouTube, right?
Yep. Shannon Ford. If you want to find me on YouTube, just look up Shannon Ford Disney. There's another Shannon Ford. Evidently, she was on a reality show. That was not me.
You're not a real housewife.
No, I'm not a real housewife. Wasn't on the Cavallari show, but yeah, it's just me, working from home, trying to pay for my DVC. So definitely look for us in the parks if you see us. And before we go, I do want to say thank you to our 3 sponsors, DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, and Monera Financial, for their continued support of the My DVC Points platform. So with that, I will say, see you real soon, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
Aw, chill up, Dad. You know I'll come back. Like DVC.
My DVC Points is an unofficial Disney-inspired podcast created by fans of Disney Vacation Club. The thoughts expressed in this podcast are personal opinions and personal experiences. My DVC Points is not affiliated with Disney Vacation Club, the Walt Disney Companies, or any subsidiaries. We encourage listeners to contact their DVC guide or member services for official DVC policies.